Today we're going to be addressing a rattle that my car developed. I know exactly what it is, and I'm going to show you how to fix it. And that rattle is actually underneath the car. It's actually at the connection between the downpipe and the midpipe. And what it is, it's the gasket that links the two pieces together. There's a tiny leak at the bottom of the pipe. And there is a rattle. So, and check this out, when I hit the exhaust, you can hear it. You hear that? Something is happening here. And when the car is cold, especially in the morning, it rattles like crazy until it warms up. So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be replacing this gasket. We're going to be replacing these bolts, the gasket bolts as well. And then there are actually these special rings that are inside of the midpipe that we're going to be replacing as well. We're going to tighten everything together and hopefully that fixes the rattle. And these are the pieces that we're going to be replacing. So this is the gasket that connects the downpipe and the midpipe. These are the rings I was telling you about. And these are the bolts. We're also going to be using this anti-seize lubricant. All right, so I'm underneath the car. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to spray the bolts with WD-40. I should have done this last night to loosen up these bolts. But also I wanted to highlight these cool flashlights that this company, Oxbeam, sent me today for free in exchange for highlighting them in the video. So you know what, I've always needed something like that, so I'm going to be using them. I'll link them in the description. If you need them, you'll know where to find them. And of course today's video is supervised by none other than my daughter Violet. You gonna help Daddy today? Yeah. Spray these down, and now using 11mm sockets we can start undoing these guys. Okay. And a helpful tip for that stubborn bolt in between, you have to use a swivel, otherwise it's going to be very hard for you to get to it. And this is what it looks like with all the bolts unbolted. And I'll check out the difference between the old bolts or the nuts. Look at these. I guess the winter has taken a toll on them, and then these are the new ones. So it was definitely a good idea to replace these. I won't be able to pull out the midpipe from the downpipe without loosening these guys, so I didn't want to do that, but I've got to do it. So I thought I could get away with just loosening up this guy, but it turns out I can't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen up this exhaust hanger, which hopefully will give me enough clearance to slide this off of the downpipe. The hanger is now completely loose. In order for me to be able to bring the downpipe down, I realized that I have to undo the cross brace here. By the way, that jack, don't worry, it's not resting on it, it's just slightly tapping it just for safety. And here I'm going to show you how many washers I used. I used 3 washers to space out the brace. The moment of truth. Worst case scenario, I'm gonna have to undo the exhaust in the back. Perfect. All right, so this is what it looks like from the inside. This is the gasket that we're gonna have to be undoing. But there are these, see these bolts up there? It's sitting, or it's attached using one, and then see down below. Very funny. So as I was working on it, the downpipe actually fell off because I forgot those clips in the middle were loosened up, so that actually made things a lot easier. Oh shoot. Uh-oh. Well, this is not good. All right, so these bolts are spinning. So this is gonna give us a bit of a headache. Yeah, it's completely stripped. So we're gonna try a couple of things. First, we're gonna use these vice grips. And next, we're gonna grab this big screwdriver. We're gonna hammer it in. Ah, come on. I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but it looks like we're gonna have to drill it out. The problem is, I don't have the best drill bits. So this did not even make a dent. Come on. Do it for me. Okay. I guess we gotta continue cutting. Trying a different drill now. Great, we broke the drill. So we broke the drill right inside. This is not gonna help us at all. Next idea is to Dremel the head out. I'm getting desperate over here. There's a drill bit stuck inside, which is making this cut a lot more harder. All right, so we got some needle nose pliers. Let's see if I can grab the drill bit. Oh, all right, I don't know what happened, but check this out. I just tried this and it came off. Oh, huh. This whole thing actually comes off. So it looks like on the downpipe, obviously you have one coming from each of the 3 cylinders. There's one bracket that has this welded to the downpipe, and the other one is part of the gasket. I'm worried I stripped the thread here, and I don't want to hit this too hard because I don't want to break the weld, and then we're going to be in some serious trouble. Let's see, this is what it looks like in the back. There's no way for me to grab it from the back, or is there? You know what? I think I'm just gonna give up. Since I already damaged the thread over here, there's really no sense to redo it. What this thing does is it actually keeps the gasket in place, but since these bolts will keep the gasket in place, and there's another one of these on the other side, then I think we should be okay with just one. And now this is the one we have to undo. Luckily we can just do it this way because we have room now. By the way, if you want pliers, these vice grip pliers that made by Irwin are the best pliers you can get. I love them. So again, so this sits like this under the car, and as you can see, you see this substance here? I don't know exactly what this is, like a schmear of some sort. Looks like there was too much of it here, and that's where the leak was happening. And the rattle was happening because maybe the bolts were not tight enough. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use a wire brush now to make sure all the bolts are clean. This time I'm gonna use anti-seize, so it's easier next time. But I also think that I probably should have ordered this, just because these bolts don't look as fresh. So maybe this is what happens when you drive your car during the winter. So this is the old gasket, and then this is the new one. Obviously this is the right piece of the downpipe that's welded. This is the one that's not welded. It's gonna come in here. This is the bolt that we're not gonna use, but this is the one that we are going to be using. And you see this one gets attached to it like that. And so we don't make the same mistake, we're gonna use anti-seize on this bolt. Screw it in. It's much easier to do it off the car. And just like I said earlier, we're gonna use a wire brush to clean these as best as I can. We're also gonna clean this as best as possible and apply some anti-seize. Alright, so I think I figured out the cause of my rattle. You see these rings? They go inside like this, or maybe like that, and I guess maybe they call them grease rings, but they help you connect this to the downpipe. Well, guess what? I realized that on my old exhaust, I left these inside. So this, I am almost certain, is the reason why we had a rattle. Let's start putting everything back together. This goes like that. Look how pretty. Okay, and now we take these rings, we put them up here. And these rings will ensure we have a tight fit. Look at this. Okay, let's see how this goes. We're gonna put these clamps over, and then we can put the brace in. Now, instead of the washers now, I'm gonna use these bolts. I saw someone on the forum use bolts. The only thing is, I don't have that many. So I'm just gonna use a couple. So now here's a little trick. The brace goes under here like this, and people use spacers to space it out. If you want to cheat the system a little bit, you put the brace over and you can still use the spacers. But you know what, in our case, we can use this, and then instead of spacers, I'm going to use these bolts on the ends. As you can see, I put a couple of washers here and the bolts go there, and we should have plenty of clearance. And finally, under the car, we can start bolting the downpipe. And check this out. So this is these little gaskets. I don't know what they're made out of, but it looks like they're going to be crushing inside of the actual midpipe, providing a very, very tight seal. So this goes to show you, if you are getting a used midpipe, make sure that these gaskets, washers, whatever you want to call them, are there. Otherwise, you might be getting a leak. So I hope you can see it, but you see, so what this gasket is doing is, as I'm squeezing the downpipe, the actual gasket is crushing inside to provide a 100% seal between the downpipe and the midpipe. So this is what was missing from my installation, and that's why we had a leak and a rattle. So once again, if you are doing this yourself, make sure you get this extra part. Also, if you're having a shop do it for you, make sure they use something like that, because if they don't, you will definitely have a leak and a rattle. Everything is nice and tight. Moving on to the back, we have to attach this hanger and then tighten these bolts in the back. I think we're done. Let's just check it one last time. So this is the downpipe. It's nicely attached. This hanger was reconnected. We also reattached the brace and the clamps in the back. We're gonna go ahead and start the car now and see if there are any leaks. Okay, let's see. But we do have a leak here, so I'm gonna have to redo these clamps. All right, and we're done. I am officially beat. The good news is that everything is fixed. When I hit the pipe, there are no rattles. So those washers were actually the ones that were causing the rattle and the leak. So that's been fixed. We fixed the leak that was in the back, and that's good. What sucks is that something that I was planning on spending maybe an hour max on took me almost 3 hours because of that stupid bolt. But you live and learn. Anyways, if this was helpful, give me thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and as always, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.